What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in to another episode for Just a Bet Outside. I'm your host, Steven, and as you can tell, no cold intro. It looks a little different. Ryan is out of town the rest of the week, so it's just me, and you know he's Mr. Technology, the producer, the behind the scenes, so I'm going to give it my best shot. You saw me try it a few weeks ago, so it's going to look something like that. But if you're new to the channel, these do look a little bit better, these videos. But I want to make sure I get you the info and everything that you possibly need. So we had another winning day yesterday. Nice 2-1 day. It could have been 4-0. It was so close. We had 4 bets. One was a push, so we ended 2-1, including hitting a nice plus 150 winner, which we'll talk about in just a little bit. But we're on a 6-1 run. Any sort of run in the MLB is nice. I know I've only been doing half units, so it hasn't changed the full unit size that much for the year, but still, it is nice to finally get some winners. So let's keep that rolling. We got a long ways to go this year. We only have a small 9-game slate today, but let's get right into it. And you know that means it's baseball fun fact. I actually have 2 of them for you, just 2 short ones. So here we go. Justin Verlander has more no-hitters versus the Blue Jays than the Blue Jays have in their entire franchise history. That's just a fact. And the next one, if you take away all of Hank Aaron's home runs, he still has 3,000 career hits. That's also pretty impressive. So anyways, now in this video, we're going to recap yesterday, a nice 2-1 day, and then we're going to talk those good hitter matchups, the good pitcher strikeout matchups, the pitcher report. I'll give you my best bets, and then of course we got those hitter parlay ideas and the bets recap to wrap it all up. So hit that like button, leave a comment below if you have not already done so, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as we're on our way to 26,000 subscribers. All right, I'm ready to get into it, and it starts with the recap. All right, here it is, a nice winning day with Ronaldo Lopez starting it out early in the morning, at least on my end, on the West Coast, over 5.5 Ks. It was actually, he had 4 Ks through 3 innings, and then his last batter faced, he struck out Mark Canha. It was sweatier than it should have been. He got 6 Ks, got it done. Orioles moneyline, my goodness, it was just bonkers. Orioles had a 5-1 lead. I love the read here, and again, I was playing the odds here. This is just a disrespectful line for the Orioles against Garrett Cole, and they were up 5-1, and then their bullpen comes in and tries to blow it. They go to extras. The Orioles get the job done 7-6, luckily. And then the hitter parlay, back to a loss. Duran got a hit, but JD Martinez, for the first time this year, goes hitless back-to-back games. So some of you guys that always say, you should stop taking the guys who are on hitting streaks, start taking the guys who just came off a hitless day. JD Martinez did that, and he went hitless yet again, although it didn't help that he had 2 walks. It was just unfortunate, one of those days. And then the over 8 Mets and Rangers. If you only had 8.5, it sucks because I want you guys to win with me. I didn't win, but I pushed. I took the 8 at minus 130 as an alt line just for that push factor, and we ended 5-3, unfortunately. So that was a push, 2-1 day. There's the overall record as we still try to dig out of this hole. Those were all half-unit plays, of course. That's why you're not seeing a ton of profit in the last couple days, because I'm just choosing to cut the unit size down. But anyways, that is the bets recap. And now let's talk the good hitter matchups. It looks so empty when we have 20-something hitter matchups every day almost this week, and then we only have 5. That's right. Alex Bregman, 5 for 15 with a extra base hit versus Flexen. Steven Kwan, who's just a stud. Now he has a good matchup. Jeremy Pena, as you see, 5 for 11 also versus Flexen. And then a couple Yankees. Stanton, who had a huge game yesterday. My goodness, that home run to deep center was just absolutely crushed. And then LeMahieu, 4 for 7 versus the lefty Cole Irvin. So, unfortunately, that's all we got for the good hitter matchups today. And now let's talk some arms. All right, we only got one good pitcher strikeout matchup for you in this 9-game slate, and it's the lefty Mackenzie Gore versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. Arizona's 6th highest K percentage versus lefties last 3 weeks, 24.5%. I was kind of surprised by it, to be honest. Arizona's not always up there, but Gore, 91 Ks in 75 innings this year. But here's what I'm going to say. As you see right there, warning, he has some big home road splits. So 24.6% K rate at home as opposed to 35.1 on the road. He will be at home here, so I'm just here to make sure you have all the info. But in his last road start, he did have 10 Ks versus Atlanta, so take it for what it is. He now has 7 or more Ks in 3 of his last 4 starts. Now, let's talk about the Luis Bros. That's right, Luis Gil and Luis Castillo, 2 other guys that were high strikeout, but they're not making this list because of the tougher matchup. But Luis Gil is now throwing in the rubber match against the Baltimore Orioles. Gil, 96 Ks in 80 innings. I mean, maybe an AL Cy Young favorite now. I don't know. Tariq Skubal struggled yesterday. He's just been unreal. But he's facing the Orioles, who have the 17th highest K rate versus righties last 3 weeks, 21.6%. It's just one of those things. He's faced him before, but it is going to be a tough matchup. Orioles don't strike out a ton. But I do want to put him on here because Luis can strike out a lot of people, that's for sure. And then Luis Castillo of the Mariners at the Guardians, 92 Ks and 89.1 innings, but Cleveland has the absolute lowest K rate in the league. The last 3 weeks at 14.8%. So depending where that line is, maybe an under is an option, or maybe you think the line's too low and you still want to go over. Either way, I just wanted to give you some extra info, and they just happen to be both named Luis. That's just how it went. So those are the good pitcher strikeout matchups. And now let's talk the pitcher report. All right, these are the first 5 matchups of the day, and we got a guy who has given up more hits than anybody else on this slate today. Ryan Nelson of the D-backs, almost 12 hits per 9 innings, going up against the Nationals ace we just talked about, Mackenzie Gore, with that 3.26 expected ERA. And then Luis Castillo versus Logan Allen in the rubber match there. Castillo, 4.27 expected ERA, 25.2. He's been decent. He hasn't been his typical just dominant self, but he's still been decent. And Logan Allen's just been pathetic. Just flat out, the lefty has just struggled mightily. Can't strike out a lot of people, gives up a ton of hits, gives up a lot of runs. Just has not worked out yet for him this year. And then Zach Littell of the Rays, as you guys all know, who does not walk a lot of guys, going up against SWR, who blew his bet when we bet on him last time, under 2.5 runs, and he gives up 4 in the first inning with a grand slam. But he's been pretty solid this year. And then Arrighetti Spaghetti, as you see, he's been getting a lot better lately, going up against Flexen, who is a very hittable pitcher as well. And then Gavin Stone, who's been solid, kind of under the radar, just a really good piece for the Dodgers. They needed him in that rotation, going up against Ty Block. Sorry, I think it's Block. I don't know. Blotch sounds terrible. But anyways, he has not been good. 5.5 expected ERA, and he is barely striking out anybody at 12.4%. So those are the first 5 matchups with the averages down below to help you guys out. And now let's take a look at the final 4 games. As of recording this the night before, we do not see any pitchers for the Giants or the Brewers yet. But Seth Lugo, we all know he's been absolutely unreal. He does have 10 wins on the year. He is also due for negative regression. We're all waiting for it. It could happen. He's not a guy who just strikes out a ton of people. He's about average there with that. He limits walks though, and has been pretty good limiting hits as well. But it's still due for some negative regression there against Mitch Spence, who hasn't been terrible for the A's. Let's face it, 57 innings, 3.61 expected ERA. Just kind of a just whatever pitcher to me. And then Cole Irvin, who's just due for some negative regression himself. He hasn't been that great in his career. Does not miss a lot of bats, and now he has to face the Yankee lineup. Will Aaron Judge be back? I don't know. He was not even available. He could have pinch hit a million times yesterday, and he's just stayed in his hoodie in the dugout. Maybe he'll be back this game, maybe not. But going up against Luis Hill, the guy is the biggest surprise of the entire MLB season. Maybe he's just been unbelievable. 2.03 ERA with a 30.4% K rate. The only thing he does bad is walk guys. That's it. And as you can see, 4.4 hits per 9 innings. It is hard to hit off of him. So that'll be a good matchup with the Orioles offense. And then Palante for the Cardinals, as you see there, 4.61 expected ERA. He's due for a little positive regression. Doesn't miss a lot of bats as well. Neither does Mazur going up against the Brewers. It's going to be a tough matchup. Brewers are a good offense this year, kind of surprising to everybody. But even though it's only 12.2 innings, but it's just never good to have a 2 as your first number on your whip. That's for sure. So anyways, those are all 9 matchups of the day. Hope this helps you get some winners, or at least leads you to a winner somewhere. And now it's time for the best bets. All right, before we get into my best bets I have for today, I do want to let you know of a quick note. The Cardinals and Giants game will be played at Rickwood Field in Alabama. It is the oldest professional park in the United States, established in 1910. It was the former home of the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues. Just wanted to let you know in case you didn't know that. But this first game takes us back out to Yankee Stadium, where the Yankees host the Baltimore Orioles. Yankees on the money line minus 148, Orioles on the money line plus 124, with a total of 8.5 runs. Now, my first thought was to go Yankees money line. I do like that side here today, but my best bet in this game, it's got to be Luis Hill over 16.5 outs recorded at minus 130 on DraftKings. I'm going to play a half unit again because I don't want to mess with a good thing right now. We've been winning, and that's really all that matters. But Hill has been an absolute stud. We've talked about it already earlier in the video all year long. But outs recorded-wise, he has gone over this line in 8 of his last 9. That's right, 8 of his last 9. He is actually averaging 18.4 outs per start. Guys, that's a little over 6 innings. That is quite the average. We only need 17 outs here. But at home, he's been even better. He is now over this line in 6 straight home starts. I just watched the entire game on Wednesday between the Yankees and the Orioles. And what did I see? I saw the Yankees use an absolute crap ton of bullpen arms because they had to. Garrett Cole was the starting pitcher, And he had a pitch count, first game of the year. They used 6 overall. I'm not saying all 6 are not able to be used today for Thursday's game, but I will say the Yankees will want Heel to go deep into this game, rest their bullpen a little bit more after that Garrett Cole start. So on top of that, Luis Heel, he is facing the Orioles. Yes, they are a very good offense. They're one of the best teams, best offenses in the league. But we care about outs and how you can keep your pitch count low, how you can get quicker outs. And the Orioles are a team that can make some quick outs. We've talked about it before. We've actually faded or tailed the pitcher against them before over outs recorded. The Orioles have seen the 11th fewest pitches per plate appearance this season. And part of the reason that they have the 5th highest swing percentage, the 6th highest chase rate. They're a young offense, so they're not exactly completely disciplined or anything like that. And Heel is going to be a very tough matchup for them. He is something special, that's for sure, if you haven't watched him. So Heel, I mean, we're talking almost 100% hit rate in this one at home. A pretty good matchup in regards to against the Orioles because we've seen Heel have so many starts this year where he's only giving up 1 run, 0-1 run, 1 run, all this kind of stuff. He is not a guy who's been getting rocked, and even if he gives up, say, 3 runs in this game, I think he does it by going 6 innings. And I think he's going to go 6 full innings in this one. This line probably should have started at 17.5 juice to the over, but I will gladly take the 16.5 outs recorded as my best bet number 1. All right, before we get into the second one, I do want to mention, in case you've noticed, I have a few extra gray hairs, especially with this close-up view we got going on today without Ryan. That is from the Orioles-Yankees game yesterday, so I'm going to blame it on that. Actually, it was all black. I didn't have any gray hair until that game. But anyways, this one takes us out to the land of the tiny beverages, Minnesota. We got the Twins hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. Twinkies minus 120, Rays on the money line plus 102 with a total of 8 runs. I'm going to go straight forward. Give me the Twins money line minus 120 on FanDuel for a half unit again. The Twins lost yesterday against the Rays. To be honest, I actually like that in this one because otherwise they'd be playing for a sweep, and sweeping a team is always tough. So they are going to be playing to win the series now. But on the mound, we got SWR, Woods Richardson versus Zach Littell. Now let's start out with Mr. Zach Littell. He has not been very good this season, especially lately, and especially on the road. He's given up 1 or more home runs in 5 straight starts. The Rays overall are 1-4 in his last 5 starts. It was pretty tough competition if you look at who he faced, like Orioles, Braves, things like that. But on the road this year, he has a 5.40 ERA, giving up 17 earned runs in 28.1 innings. In his last 3 road starts, how about 13 earned runs given up in 13 innings? I just did the math. Carry the 1. That's 1 earned run per inning. Yes, hash brown math. He does not miss many bats. The one thing he does do well is he limits walks. We've talked about that. We've looked at his walk props this season before, and he is incredibly hittable. 92 hits given up in 76.1 innings, and he is now facing a top 5 offense in the Twins. That's right. I said it out loud. The Twins right now in the last month are unreal. Top 5 in WRC+, weighted runs created plus, an overall way of telling how your offense is at creating runs. OPS top 5, batting average top 5, and how about the number 1 team in Major League Baseball in on-base percentage? And that's the name of the game, right? You got to get on base with a 342 OBP versus righties in the last month. It is going to be a tough matchup on the road for Mr. Littell. And then SWR takes him out. Now, we lost his under 2.5 earned runs bet on his last start because of 1 inning. It was the first inning, and he gave up 1 swing for a grand slam. Never gave up another run after that inning. It just sometimes it happens in the first inning. Weird things happen. But he's done a good job at limiting runs. He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 8 of his 11 starts this year. The Twins are 4-1 in Richardson's last 5 starts. So we got the Rays 1-4 in Littell's. Twins 4-1. I do give him the slight edge in this starting pitcher matchup, especially at home with Littell on the road. But also SWR is facing a Rays offense that is the opposite of the Twins pretty much. They are, in the last month versus righties, 27th in WRC+. They have the 8th highest K rate. They have the number 1, or I guess it'd be number 30. They are dead last in batting average. That's it. They're dead last. No one worse than them in batting average versus righties in the last 30 days, or in the last month. And they also have the 7th lowest on-base percentage. It's night and day with these two offenses right now, and I like SWR here at home. I think they're going to get the job done. They have a much better offense, slight advantage of starting pitcher. Bullpen, I'd say, is about even, and they both used a decent amount of arms. I don't know if Duran's going to be available. He has pitched 2 straight days, although yesterday was only like 10 or 11 pitches I saw. Obviously, he's one of the studs that they have, but you know what? I'm hoping they're just up 6-2. They don't need Duran or anything like that. So give me the Twins at this cheap price of minus 120 as my second best bet. And only a 9-game slate. I only got 2 best bets for you right now. I'm more than likely going to add one in the morning. But I got some hitter parlay ideas, so let's talk about those now. So we got 5 of them for you. First one, Stephen Kwan. It's a duh. I mean, it's just a duh. He's hitting almost 400 at home, and now he's 5 for 12 off Luis Castillo. 2+ hits are very much in play. I haven't seen the odds pop up yet. That might be a half-unit play for me. We'll see if we can get some good plus money there on that one. Second one, Alex Bregman. Yes, I don't like this guy. I've already told you that. But he has been hitting the ball well. I'm going to give him some props here. He's 5 for 15 off Chris Flexen. Flexen's given up 9.1 hits per 9 innings. But Alex Bregman has 1+ hit now in 18 of his last 19 games. It's been really good. He's been on fire. Got a great matchup. He would be a good one. Carlos Correa, we've talked about this guy a million times. His 9-game hitting streak was snapped on Wednesday. I believe. I didn't see if he had one last at-bat. So if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Hitting about 545 in the last 7 days. Absolutely insane. And facing Zach Littell, we just talked about it, gives up a lot of hits. And then his teammate, Royce Lewis. Why not, right? He's facing Zach Littell, too, hitting the ball really well. 1+ hit in 11 of his 13 games since hurting himself on opening day. He's just coming off a 3-hit game, I believe it was yesterday. He now has 2+ hits in 4 of his last 6. So there's a pair of twins for you. And then the 5th one, Juan Soto. I don't mention him much here, but he is a lefty. But he's hitting 333 off lefties this season. He's hitting 313 on the season. He has 1+ hit in 14 of his last 19 games. He's going up against lefty Cole Irvin, who is definitely hittable. He's not anybody who's going to blow you away or strike you out. The worry with Soto whenever you have him is he seems to walk once or twice like every game because that's just what he does. He's there to take pitches, and then he'll swing every once in a while. But Cole Irvin so far this year does have a very low 4.6% walk rate, so that's always good to see. But either way, those are my 5 best ones I have right now. There's probably some other ones out there. Only a 9-game slate, so it's a little bit harder to find some good ones. So those are my best bets. That's the bets, betting research help, and the hitter parlay ideas. And now let's check out the recap. All right, there they are. Luis Gil over 16.5 outs recorded at -130, and the Twinkies on the money line at -120. That's what I got for you. Thank you for watching the video, even though it's not as pretty as usual with Ryan behind the scenes. But hopefully I can get another video out for tomorrow night for Friday's games, even without Ryan as well. But thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. Let's make it 3 straight winning days. But I hope you have a great Thursday, and we'll talk to you soon.